mechanical. I enjoy playing the guitar and the practice of yoga, and seeing where those two pathways, those passions intersect. And I'd like to share some of those thoughts with you today.
Talking about the spontaneous creation and manifestation of musical pieces, but without the need for a prior composition or a future performance. This attention to being completely present whilst creating something tangible can offer a sense of bridging the gap between our internal and external worlds. Ultimately, it can even lead to a dissolution of both perspectives and a sense that the performer is removed entirely, losing yourself in the art form.
So when we talk about dynamic composition, it doesn't exclude anything that's done in the past. It doesn't exclude the language of things that we've learnt over many years as musicians. It just tries to exist in a space that is moment to moment.
There can be great value in forging a path through repetition, like the river that erodes the mountainside over many years, and these previous learnings are fair game to be used. We're just not going to rely on them.
So I suppose looping really set a lot off for me early on. The idea that you could play something and have it played back to you in order to play over the top of was just fantastic. I got into music to play with other people, I think, and to be collaborative and social, but there's something about that self-exploration, and nobody hears the way you hear. So to be able to accompany yourself in that sense, or provide something that can be played over the top of, I think it's a beautiful thing. There are sounds that are more familiar, more akin to jazz music, let's say. This kind of thing where we can just latch and loop a sound indefinitely is pretty wicked. That could go into a delay.
The music in this film was made spontaneously, with just a single electric guitar and a few effects pedals. The idea was to react in a dynamic way to whatever was moving at the time. And this term dynamic we're using it to ensure that we continue to walk along the path of exploration. An inventor has a dynamic idea at the start of his work, but once the invention is manifest, it becomes a static object that's out in the world. Another example might be the dynamic experience of eating an ice cream being far more favourable than the static memory of it. And that's what we're exploring, an orientation found in stillness that is full of energy and creativity. A place that will always be available to those that are interested enough to look for it.
So we have the capacity to create. Bigger textures. Very ethereal things. Yeah, preparing the guitar in a sense. Looping some of those sounds, just exploring the tonal scape of the instrument. So there's something in dynamic composition that it just sort of slices down the middle of what we perceive as composition and what we perceive as improvisation. And there's a tangible quality, a tangible way of living that sort of exists in that space. It's just kind of making those decisions. Yeah, we're staying major. We're going darker. Where's the change in harmony? We may be coming to the C chord here. Kind of happier resolution. And it's just sort of hearing where those things are going to come from. Being able to react in real time. It's just something very freeing about that, being able to kind of move around. So we're looking for edges as well in our practice. An edge could be a kind of harmonic edge. Could be something we're struggling to hear. What is that mode? What if I had this note in? So what happens when we meet an edge? What happens when we meet something that the psychology wants to move around or away from?
There are many kinds of edges that we might encounter as human beings. Physical limitations of the fingers, bodies and equipment, limiting mental belief structures. Even the way that we meet and interpret ourselves is subject to pre-installed boundaries and obstacles that can require something of a sensitive and aware approach in order to navigate. But how do we deal with these edges? What are our own internal strategies? Do we look to avoid a difficult yoga posture, awkward conversation, or a guitar chord? Do we want to change what we have found? With the future hope, maybe, that something will get better in a moment further down the line? Or can we learn to accept and soften with these perceived obstacles in order to continue our practice into dissolution, blurring the lines between subject and object, so that we might get a glimpse of the glue that joins them together, dynamic and alive?